The final that shook the football world. The 2026 FIFA World Cup final was supposed to be remembered as a celebration of football. Instead, it became one of the most controversial matches in recent history. Spain and Argentina, two football giants with millions of passionate supporters, met on the biggest stage, but by the final whistle, the conversation wasn't just about the score. It was about FIFA, the referees, and a series of decisions that left fans furious around the globe. From the opening minutes, the intensity was unbelievable. Every tackle, every attack, and every referee decision was met with massive reactions inside the stadium. Spain controlled possession with their trademark passing game, while Argentina looked dangerous every time they counterattacked. The atmosphere was electric, but it quickly turned tense after several controversial moments that divided fans. Social media exploded within minutes. Hashtags criticizing FIFA started trending worldwide as supporters from both sides accused officials of inconsistency. Some claimed Spain received favorable decisions, while others argued Argentina was denied key opportunities. Every replay sparked another debate, making it impossible for anyone to agree on what really happened. The VR room soon became the center of attention. Instead of calming the situation, every review seemed to create even more confusion. Television pundits, former referees, and football legends all offered different opinions, leaving viewers wondering whether the game's biggest stage had once again become overshadowed by controversy rather than football itself. As emotions reached their peak, FIFA suddenly found itself under enormous pressure. Fans demanded transparency, journalists questioned officiating standards, and analysts began examining every major decision frame by frame. What should have been a historic World Cup final was rapidly turning into another global debate about football's governing body. And if you thought the controversy ended with the final whistle, you haven't seen what happened next. The controversial moments that ignited global outrage. As the match entered its decisive stages, the tension reached another level. Every challenge became more physical, every whistle carried enormous weight, and every decision threatened to change the destiny of the World Cup. It was no longer just Spain versus Argentina, it had become a battle that millions believed was being influenced by controversial officiating. One of the biggest talking points came after a highly disputed incident inside the penalty area. Spain appealed immediately, while Argentina's players surrounded the referee insisting no foul had occurred. The stadium fell silent as everyone waited for the VR review. Cameras captured anxious faces on the benches, nervous supporters in the stands, and players frozen in anticipation. When the final decision was announced, the reaction was explosive. Spanish fans celebrated, believing justice had been served, while Argentine supporters erupted in anger, convinced the officials had made a costly mistake. Within seconds, social media platforms were flooded with slow-motion replays, screenshots, and side-by-side comparisons. Every football expert seemed to have a different interpretation, making the controversy even bigger. The referee's performance quickly became the focus of post-match discussion. Television analysts questioned several key calls, while former players debated whether the game had been managed consistently from start to finish. Every replay fueled another wave of arguments, with fans demanding greater accountability and transparency from FIFA. Meanwhile, the players struggled to keep their emotions under control. Tempers flared after several hard tackles, leading to heated confrontations on the pitch. Coaches repeatedly protested from the touchline, adding even more drama to an already unforgettable final. By the time the match approached its closing minutes, the football itself had almost become secondary. Around the world, millions of supporters were no longer asking who would win, they were asking whether the World Cup final had been decided fairly. And after the final whistle, the backlash against FIFA only grew louder, setting the stage for one of the biggest debates the sport had seen in years. FIFA under fire as the football world demands answers. The moment the final whistle blew, the controversy was far from over. Instead of celebrating an unforgettable World Cup final, fans, journalists, and former players immediately turned their attention to FIFA and the officiating. The match had ended, but the debate was only beginning. Across social media, millions of posts questioned the referee's biggest decisions. Clips of controversial moments spread at incredible speed, with supporters analyzing every angle frame by frame. Some argued that the officials had followed the laws of the game correctly, while others believed crucial mistakes had influenced the outcome. The disagreement became one of the most talked about football stories of the year. Television broadcasters dedicated hours of coverage to breaking down the key incidents. Former referees offered conflicting opinions, football legends debated whether VAR had improved the game or simply created more confusion, and pundits questioned whether FIFA should introduce greater transparency by releasing the audio between referees and VAR officials after major decisions. The pressure on FIFA continued to grow as supporters demanded clearer explanations. Many fans called for improved referee training, more consistent use of VAR, and stronger accountability for officials working on football's biggest stage. Regardless of which team they supported, one message echoed across the football world: major tournaments deserve decisions that are trusted by everyone. Meanwhile, both Spain and Argentina left the tournament having delivered a final that will be remembered for its intensity, world-class football, and unforgettable drama. While one nation celebrated lifting the trophy, the other was left wondering what might have been. Whether people remember this final for its incredible football or the controversies surrounding it, one thing is certain: it sparked passionate debate across the globe and reignited questions about the future of refereeing in international football. What do you think? Were the officials fair, or did controversial decisions overshadow the biggest match in football? Share your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more World Cup stories and football analysis. The legacy of a final that divided the football world. Days after the World Cup final, the arguments still hadn't stopped. Football fans around the world continued replaying the biggest moments, debating every major decision, and asking the same question: will this final be remembered for the football, or for the controversy? For Spain, the victory represented years of rebuilding and a return to the top of world football. Their disciplined tactics, relentless pressing, and clinical finishing proved they belonged among the game's elite. The celebrations across Spain were unforgettable, as supporters embraced a historic achievement that had taken years to accomplish. For Argentina, however, the defeat was heartbreaking. Their players had fought until the very end, creating chances and refusing to give up despite the pressure. While disappointment filled the squad, many supporters remained proud of the team's determination and resilience throughout the tournament. Beyond the two finalists, the match reignited a much larger conversation about football's future. Fans, analysts, and former players once again questioned whether VAR is being used consistently enough and whether referees should provide more transparency during major reviews. Others argued that football must continue improving officiating standards to ensure that the biggest matches are remembered for the players, not the decisions. One thing became clear: every World Cup introduces unforgettable heroes, emotional moments, and fierce debates. This final delivered all three. It reminded everyone why football remains the world's most passionate sport, where every goal, every save, and every referee's whistle can become part of history. Whether you believe the officials got every decision right or think the controversy changed the course of the match, the Spain vs Argentina final will remain one of the most talked about World Cup games for years to come. As the football world now looks toward the next World Cup, FIFA faces continued pressure to improve consistency, increase transparency, and strengthen confidence in officiating. Because when the world's biggest tournament begins again, fans everywhere will expect one thing above all else: that the outcome is decided by the players on the pitch.